Okay, so the other quests that I do every day are these PvE quests. So like there's Winter Grasp, and so this is under that, and then the daily I like to do the daily cooking quest, which is mushroom meatloaf, which what you have to do is like, and like this is just the mundane shit in this game. Like it's not all psychopathic. Like it's I don't know, man. It's a lot more wholesome. Like if you told me your kid was playing World of Warcraft, I wouldn't even fucking bat an eye, dude, because like it's not and like there you can put the filter on where you can't see any swears or anything like that. You know, like I'd be more worried about the kid being in Discord than I would be. You know what I mean? Like, so like right now, I'm looking for these mushrooms down here. This is down in the sewers in Dalaran. And so like I have to find these mushrooms, and you'll see them, they'll sparkle. Okay, so there's one right there. Oh, to your channel or something? Our conversation? I have no idea. No idea. But I am no professional at this game by any means. So like there's somebody out there that's gonna blow a nut if they see me. Okay, so there's another fucking. Well, yeah, you can actually send her an invite through my drop down and just send her an invite into fucking the Discord. I mean, everybody should have Discord. It's one of the safest platforms out there as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. I don't know, in Discord. I don't know, maybe anybody in who's our friend can fucking jump in this channel and watch. Oh yeah, they should be able to. I don't know. She should just be able to just come into the channel. I have an open channel. That's like how I sent you that whatever. I don't have anything locked down. This is just my personal channel. I don't care what happens. Like you can't. There's nothing you can really do to it. You can't take possession of it or anything like that in any way, shape, or that's the cool thing about Discord right there. It's a cool program. I like it too, man. To be honest with you, Joel. And you know, I don't take shit lightly like that. So. Doing mushroom infused mushrooms. I thought I had 4 infused mushrooms. I could be wrong. I only have 2? How the hell did that happen? You saw me grab 4. What the? No, they don't. They don't really work at home. But at one point in time, there was actually a World of Warcraft real in-home cookbook. Yes, you can look it up. Look, Google that shit right now. It's like a Thanksgiving, and actually, like some of like they named them whatever else, but like I don't know, like it's actually yeah, like I don't know, man. You don't make money with your account, do you? With your Discord account? Okay. Anyways, so dude, this game is like just Dungeons and Dragons. That's all it is. Well, I don't need to talk to NPCs. NPCs. Yeah. This guy here that's to my left, he's another Alliance player, and he is that. Like I said, there's no horde on this server. So, like, for me to show you a horde, and then actually, you can't, even if we did see one right now, you wouldn't, I can't touch him or attack him anyway, so it doesn't matter. Hey, we're in a free zone right now, yeah. So, like, this is Dalaran. There's two of them. There's Shatrap and there's Dalaran. And then everything else in this realm is actually PvP. And there are some, but not a lot of whatever, so... So, like, so up here we have to deliver what we just made up to this dude. Yeah, it's just a daily quest. So like, you get Northern Spice, and I need those to make. Okay, so this is my cooking down here. And so, like, to make one of these fish feasts, which is the top tier of, this is the best that anybody can make. You need this, you need this, and you need this. You know what I mean? And you get those through fishing. Okay, so that's why you have to have fishing. That's why you have to have fishing maxed out. So fishing is, and then you need those Northern Spice, which you saw I just got from doing the daily quest. So then you get these over here. From that, well, you can see it right here. So to use this set out, a great fish feast that will feed your party, restore, you know, health and, you know, mana and whatever else. It's this big buff food. And there are other buff foods that do other things like cuttlefish steak, restores health, blah, blah, blah. You gain 40 spirit and 40 stamina. Yeah, that, but that's like, you saw why, because I got to do it every day. So, like, okay, so I'm also an alchemist on this character. Okay, so, like, down here, spellbook abilities. So these are, like, all of the quote-unquote passive abilities for this character. So alchemy is one of my professions that I chose, and then I did herbalism. And so, like, herbalism, I fly around and I literally pick flowers. I kid you fucking not. So, like, and because of that, I got what's called this from being a top herbalist, I get this buff, and I put that down on this bar down here, and it's lifeblood, and then that gives me an extra heal, which I often need, right? Then you got, because I got mixology, the effects of any of the stuff that I use is more on me and whatever else. This is a passive. I'll explain the passives more later. Wisp Spirit is another passive because I'm a elf. That's my race on this. I'm a mixologist. So like these are my potions for that. So like I can make all these alchemy potions. I did have a bar. I could be. I don't know. Not anymore. I'd have to renew my bartender's license. Sort of, yes. And yeah, I was also a barista or or whatever. Whatever. I don't know how to say that with the yeah. So mixology. So like this elixir, I can make this elixir right now, and it increases your strength for 50 for 1 hour, and it's a battle elixir, so it lasts for an hour. It doesn't matter if you die or nothing. So because of that, on this character, they get a couple of other really cool benefits and buffs. So one of the buffs that I get is this thing here is the Flask of the North. So I don't have it on right now. So you see up here all the other passive buffs. Those are buffs all up top. Dude, get this game. Oh my god. Joel, it's fucking huge. So here's Flask of the North. And I can keep clicking that. I don't have to remake that. And then because I'm a mixologist, whatever else, I have the Endless Mana Potion. I can click on that it's got a cooldown on it and whatever else. Yeah, so like I don't have to ever buy another one. But I can still make all of these same whatever, yes. And the other cool thing that you get out of this is a trinket, and it's down lower. And for this character, and like each of the professions have buffs, different buffs too. And like some of your races actually have buffs for your professions too. So like the reason that I did alchemy, because alchemy and herbalism go hand in hand. So as you're collecting the herbalism things, it really does come really close to meeting the things that you need to get to level your alchemy. The only time that it kind of changes out is during BC, but that's I'll explain down the road to me. Because BC became such a long expansion that it's really quite annoying, and you keep sometimes it doesn't match exactly and whatever else. But anyways, back to whatever. And then like there's a whole shit ton of different potions you can make for different people. But you get these alchemy stones that you get to make, which go in my character profile. So this is my character profile that I just pulled up. I just deleted. And in my character profile, so like this is an alchemist stone, and this is a buff stone that I can put in a trinket that I don't actually have to ever activate because it's passive constantly, so it's a really kick-ass buff for me. And they come in 3 varieties, so if you're a tank, if you're DPS, or if you're a healer. They actually have a stone for each class. So like in this class, so this is all my gear. I could get into my gear, but that's a fucking long story. In each class, it's different for each class and whatever else. So these are my talents. And like I said, you can dual spec. You can do your primary talents and then your secondary talents, which is a balanced druid on this character because it just makes it really easy for me to, because some of I can, not optimum for a balanced druid to use the gear that I have, but it passes over, and I can play a balanced druid. Yeah, so you can be a feral druid, and that's a whole different. So these are the 3 major classifications for druid. There's balance, which I can activate those talents, but each one of these talents, this is a talent tree. And like this is how big it is, and like so you got to max them out for each one that you do. Now these are always active when you're in this zone here, right? I am a restoration druid on this character. That is my primary. That is what I love. I love to heal. So as you can see, I've got a lot of this tree. You know what I mean? Then you have your glyphs for each talent. And each talent is major, so you have these different glyphs that you can fine-tune your druid to do. So I keep kind of a balanced line between the two of them, between PvP and PvE because I like to do both. And I actually like to heal Battlegrounds more than anything. I won't take you into Battleground because most Battlegrounds are at least 15 minutes, and you're going to sit there and watch me do something for 15 minutes. But it's it would be boring to you for after a while. But Battlegrounds are why I love that. That's under here. These are the different PvP categories. So there's PvP that has to do with PvP that's actually player versus player, that's arena. And these are twos. So like you and I could do twos. UI and her could do threes. UI, her, and two other people could do fives. That's why it helps to get into a really good guild. And then there's Battlegrounds. And that's why I'm here, baby. I'm here for the battle. Battlegrounds these are the different Battlegrounds, and like you can go online to find out how the strategies work. But these are the different Battlegrounds, and then there's the random Battleground. And those are reward. You can do two of those and get yourself 50 points of arena points no matter what. And arena gear is better than honor gear, which is this tells you the honor gear. So no matter what, you're going to get 262 to do a random today. And then for a win, you actually get, whatever, and then you get these 25, whatever. So like Warsong Gulch, however, does not offer that, but your quest, you pick up a daily to do an arena quest, and today it is actually, I don't know that I actually picked it up. I guess I didn't, because I wasn't going to do it. But then you queue for those. It's intense. That is just that. Now, when you start talking about dungeons, I do this all the time. Group Finder. So this is, you don't have to be in a guild to get into most of these dungeons. And as you can see, like right here, this is the chat screen. They're always looking for fucking people to do shit. So like if you're not in and getting in on something, it's because you're an antisocial dude and whatever else. And like some of these are guilds, some of them are not. I'm not in a guild on this character yet because I switched over from board, like I said. I'm now Alliance on this tune. But like, okay, so as a healer, I would queue as a healer, right? These are your three major classes, tank, healer, DPS. I don't know, indicates your players are in the willing and active guide for, I don't know, I've never done that. But dungeon. So these are the dungeons for this that you can queue for, and these are the different variants on, you can see the plus signs. So like if you're Burning Crusade, Heroic, I don't do any of that shit, but I can definitely qualify in the yellow zone, that is. So it goes green, yellow, and red. So like you can see over here, this is in the green zone. Dragon Blight, that's a low-level quest for me. These are high-level quests for me in the red. Yellow is in between. These are just level 80 quests. So I would click on one of these boxes here, and then I would go to, I don't know, I think it would list self, yeah, if I actually click one. Yeah, and that's how you find dungeons, dude. It's totally fucking kick-ass. Once again, that's like a 15-minute, maybe a half an hour. Sometimes they go crazy. Okay, so like as the game progresses, there's a lot of DPS people, so they're not as highly rated on this, but like healers are. So like if I clicked, I might get snatched immediately. So I do not want to do that to people and then pull out on them. So like, and then the other one would be tank. Tanks are always needed, always fucking needed. So healers, tanks are always needed. DPS are easier to play and whatever. So elite DPS, it starts to get very catty very fast. Oh, because I still have him targeted. He's over here. Did you notice? There's not much we can do for him anyway. So, so this is the city of Dalaran. This is level 80. So that's the tree form. You can see him standing next to me right there. This guy here. Yeah, I'm in tree form too, and I'm dancing. Now I'm an invisible cat. This is travel form. That's a whole other ball of fucking wax, and that's a DPS and or tank spec in class, and it's actually one of the more powerful. So druids are pretty powerful. All right, now I'm going to take you backwards, kind of, and the reason I'm going to do that is, what's that? No, I don't know even what Prime Gaming is. Oh yeah, Prime Gaming for like Amazon Prime Gaming, yes. He is a engineer, and he has a special mount because that's what he chose to do as a profession. Yeah, it's fucking intense. So like these are my other characters. So this is Kaiser, and he's a gnome warlock, and he's a DPS character. And then like these are my other characters that I really don't really do too much with. It's a long story, but I'm going to take you through the develop a character so that you can kind of just get like a small idea of like World of Warcraft actually is. I can have different pets on this character. If you really want, I'll take you through it, but whatever. I want to show you the character making process and so that you better understand the complexity. Yeah, okay. So this is the making a new character. Now I'm not actually going to make a new character, but I'm just going to take you through the new character making process. So there's two factions to this game. There's Horde and Alliance. That's it. During this expansion, I don't know, maybe it changes down the road. I have no idea. But you can either be one or the other. So, and with that said, I play on the Alliance. Okay, so you can also go even further back and choose a server to be on. And if you actually go to make a character, I'll walk you through that process. But for now, just so you kind of get a complexity. So this is a Horde character right here. This is these are the Tauren, and on the Alliance side, as you can see right here. But and I don't know why it just started there, but it kind of did. So, but I'm going to take you to the. I know it just did. Probably because they really need Horde on this server. There is none. So anyway, there's some, but not enough to really talk about. So I mean, I can go through all this, but on the Alliance is where I want to start just because that's the side that I'm on, and if for whatever reason you got to go poop and we don't talk about this, I would rather have you understand the side that I'm on to begin with rather than the side that I'm not on. You actually should know the other side because it's got racial passives, but if you play on the Horde side, I can't really help you, sir. No offense. So this is the basic. This is human. We're going to start with human because it's at the top and whatever. So with this, you can read the racials over here, and stealth, detection, increase spirit, which you need to get mana back on caster classes. A bonus to a reputation gains. So like whenever you do a quest, you're going to get rep and bonus. Whatever. That's what that gives you for whatever reason. That's their racial. Increase the experience with swords and maces. So like if you have a warrior class or a healer class that uses swords and maces, that helps out a lot. Paladins also use healing, whatever. And we'll get into that in a second, but I'm just kind of taking you down. So like this has it set up automatically for a warrior, and warriors are a melee class. So there's three major types of DPS classes, not to make this even more fucking complicated, but there's three types of there's melee class, caster class, and then there's different types of caster class and melee class and hybrid classes because they're shaman, and the shaman are fucking nasty and they're crazy, and it's just totally different. But with all that said, for right now, let's keep the little warrior. So it explains like the things that go with warriors, and it's like, warrior to tank damage, heavy armor, deals damage with melee, has 3 fighting stances, and it explains all this, and it keeps going down through the line. Same with this one, and you can break all this down. But I want to keep moving forward because I want you to understand the differences and the races, not get right down into like warrior or whatever. And we'll get into that in a second. So the dwarves have resistance to frost, finding treasure, which isn't shit, it's worthless. Increased experience with maces, and it goes down, they can be warriors too. But like you can see down here, the different classes, each race can't be every single class. As you can see, they're not lit up. The dwarf can't be a warlock, mage. They're not casters. They're not dwarf or they're whatever, but they can be hunters, which is a good caster class. They can be rogues, which is kind of cool. Night elf, which is what most people actually go for whatever reason. Oh, and there is a male and a female body type. And you can change all of their whatever, Yeah, so it's pretty basic on that level, but what do you really need? Because like I'm going to tell you what, you're not going to be watching that shit. Once you start playing the game, it does have some really great, oh my god, it's got a really great cinematography, it's got really good AI detection, moving, it's, that way it's superior to most everything, actually, as far as I'm concerned. Because they're not trying to compress as much data through. Anyways. Gnomes. Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah. So like you can be a melee warrior gnome, dude. No. And then there's Draenei. So this is part of the BC expansion. The Draenei and the Blood Elves were part of the BC expansion. And like you'll notice they're the only character that can be a shaman right now. And so I'll go through that in a second. These actual fucking the classes now. So, but Draenei's got their own set of whatever, racial, passive, jewel crafting. So like if you're going to be a jewel crafting as a profession, they've got an inherent ability to give you extra bonus points as you're leveling that, which is actually kind of nice. Like gnomes is arcane resistance, increased intelligence, which is nice for casters. Engineering skill increases. The engineering is actually really cool. You should really look into those before you make real decisions because you have to make money in this game and not only that, like the PvP aspect, some of the classes, like I'll tell you what, engineering, to be honest with you, is PvP OP, overpowered because like there's so many cool things that they can do, especially at Battlegrounds. It's kind of cool, and I would suggest that you look into that when you're doing whatever. Like I said to you, like I do a druid class, and part of the reason I do the druid class is I don't have to come out of that fight form that you saw me in. When I go and I pick a flower, I don't have to come out of that fight form. Every other class, character, whatever, has to come out of that flight form. I have travel forms when you're doing it in when you're doing it in vanilla zones that you can't fly in. I can still at least be in that travel form, that cheetah form. That helps out a lot too. Whatever. So like you got to look at all that aspect when you're looking at whatever. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of like the warrior and the whatever. I've explained to you that there's 3 major classes. There's tank, there's healer, and then there's DPS. So within the DPS world, and each whatever. So like I think I'm almost positive it's druids are the only class that you can do all three in. I don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty positive. And they're actually really OP in each of them. They're pretty fucking kick-ass. I'm not just partial to them because I play one, but because they are kind of multi-versatile that way, and that makes them a real cool aspect that you'll always get in as like if you have a healing class, you'll always get in. If you have a tank class, you'll always get in. You know what I mean? Really, DPS class is kind of dragging the back. So you can actually level better as a druid is what I tell people, or one of these subclasses of a healer or a tank class because they can always whatever. So with that said, warriors are good tanks. They're really good tanks actually. We can kind of go over that or whatever. But warriors are good tanks, and the Death Knight is the expansion, part of the expansion of this expansion. Death Knights, you actually start at level 55 no matter where you're at in the game. And it's actually kind of cool, and they're really good tanks. And their DPS is pretty fucking outstanding, and they're pretty good at fucking casting. But they're mainly melee. They've got like they got a chain that they cast out. They can pull people to them. Yeah. It's really cool. It's part of the Wrath of Lich King expansion. So they're Death Knights. You actually kind of, I don't want to say flip sides or whatever. They got a really cool storyline, whatever else. I don't know. It's, like if you want to be a melee class, they're definitely not bad. But I'm going to tell you what, because they start at 55, bots use them a lot. They get a really fucking bad fucking rep. So whatever it is that you do, I'm going to tell you, make yourself a well understandable fucking name, because if you look like Ishkabibble, like somebody just smashed their palm on the keyboard, you ain't getting fucking heals for me, I'll tell you that. But anyways, so we're just going to stay in this race in the classes that this race can handle, and then we'll move to another one that will handle the other classes. I'll get through them all. So with that said, mages. Mages are cloth wares. Okay, so the first two are both plate wares, so they have the best, they can handle hits, you know what I mean, survivability, whatever else. I have a warlock, which I'll get to in a second. Casters have the hardest part with that are clothy because you can't take the damage, dude. You get a couple stupid magic shields, but other than that, you fucking, one of these two bastards get on you, it's a bad time. The next one that I'm going to go to, these are obvious. It's a mage. It's a caster. It fires. There's 3 different types of mages. I don't know too much about them. I've never had one. But there's like arcane, fire, and ice. And I see a lot of PvP ice mages. That's what I can tell you. Otherwise, I don't know too much about them, but it's a caster class. Look into it. Maybe you like it. Maybe you don't. There's a lot of really good fucking frost mages or ice mages or whatever you want to call them, and I fucking love playing with them because they can lock people down really fucking well. They're really cool that way. Otherwise, they do pretty fucking really good damage in PvP or PvE aspects, dungeons, and shit like that. They're pretty powerful that way. It's a fun. I know people that play these and then they don't play anything else. Like we were just joking about this. Like there's for some reason, people, once they play these, they don't want to play anything else. But that's that. The next one I want to go to is Rogue. Rogue is the motherfucker. Rogue, assassin, whatever it is that you want to call it. Joel, this is what this class is. They're dual-wielding little fucking bastards that vanish. They disappear. They've got 3 vanishes. They can kick. They can stun like nobody's business. One of these bastards gets on me, I'm going to have a hard time. He's going to fuck me up until the point. He can stun me and kill me until there's nothing you can do about it. That's their MO. But once they're exposed, they can only vanish like twice, and it's like a long cooldown and whatever else. But you can spec into different types of shit, and they're pretty whatever. A lot of times they're not really wanted for dungeons because they only wear leather, and they kind of take on some damage. But there are classes of them that the sustainability is a lot better, and there is a PvE class, as they say to them. In each one of these classes that I'm telling you about, some of the classes variants work better in PvP and PvE, and like I don't know them all. I tell everybody all the time, this game is a big game of rock, paper, scissors. You know, some classes get owned by other ones. Like you get I hear rogues bitch about fucking Death Knights. They fucking hate Death Knights for whatever reason. They don't like Warriors either because they got a lot of health and whatever else, and it's hard for the rogue to lock those two classes down and whatever else. But like I don't like them on me. But like mages eat them alive, and so do priests. They hate fucking priests, but whatever. I've never owned a rogue. Al played a rogue, just to let you know. It's a fun class. A lot of people like it. It's stealth. It's invisible all the time. Druids also have a stealth class. I'll get to that, but just to let you know, they're the only two that actually have stealth in the game. However, Night Elves will be the next one that I click on, and they have a passive that turns them into a lesser invisibility. And there's different types of invisibility and grade of invisibility too. So I don't know too much about it. Warlock, I have one. We'll click on that next. It's another clothy roll, but they're technical. So like, I'll show you mine, and if you really want, if it sounds interesting, but they're fucking. You can roll each character different. Now I PvP a lot, so mine's set up for PvP, and I like to fuck with people, dude. That is like, I don't do damage, I do crowd control on mine, and like that's what that I do. It's not a role that everybody chooses. A lot of people love to blow shit up, and like, but they can. Like, they've got some of the highest DPS in the fucking game. If you let a fucking warlock free cast in the background, everybody's going to be fucking dead. And it's just that simple, dude. It's timing. It's an artistry. Yeah, you can do a lot of really cool shit like that, dude. It's a caster class. It's really cool. Another cool thing I should say about mages is that they have different portals and whatever else. We can summon people, but we need party members to summon. They can just mages can just like teleport to different areas. It's really kind of cool. They're really cool. I like my warlock. He's a lot of fun. There's 3 different classes, and they're DPS, all DPS classes, and all DPS class, just like rogue is, and just like mages are. They're all DPS classes. That's all they do. Like, but they do DPS in different ways, man. And when I say different, it plays out. Just think of a tree, Joel, and the further out the branch goes, the further it strays away from the stem of the idea. And that's the best way I can explain to you. It's huge, and it matters. Like, you'll see in chat, like I'll be in there, they'll demand a and like this is a DPS class. They'll be like we need an affliction warlock, and because they have different buffs that do different things that they need that specific class for, because that raid needs that buff, or they need something specific that class does. The game gets that technically nitpicky in some cases, and if you can't over DPS something, you have to figure another way around it. And like hunters are big that way. Like, they have special things that people want a hunter in the whatever. And I'm just telling you like what I know about the game. You know what I mean? Like, because it's huge. That's all I can explain to you, dude. Now, next, I'm going to click on the elves a bit, because they can do most of the other things except for the shaman. So, okay. So, night elves, like I was telling you, one of their wisps, and then they have fade into shadows and whatever else. So it's like a type of invisibility. You can't move, but it's definitely an invisibility. I can show it to you on site if you really want to see it. The coolest part about that is if you can get away with it, you'll drop all threat, so you can go invisible, then you instant cast into a flight form and you're gone. You know, it's kind of nice. Or one of your travel forms or whatever else. It's a good way to drop threat, especially in PvP situations. So it's kind of cool, but That's what I had to say. So let's Druid, because it clicks right on Druid for whatever reason. And I have one, and you saw me play it. Like I said, this is I think it's the only triple threat in the game, like I said. I don't think you're going to see a player that's got a role that doesn't one of each other than the Druid. Maybe Priests, but I don't think so. So tank, healer, damage, you can do all three. It's got that cat form that I told you that's kind of like a rogue. It's got a healer that's really good for large raids. It's not the highest healing, but it keeps the most people alive for the longest. I don't know who's got the biggest, and it depends upon the role and situation. And like once again, each class is kind of different, but that's Druid, and I like it. I've played 2 of them now. They've got some pretty cool shit to them. Druids and all of the Druid classes can get a sprint in cat form. That's kind of really cool. That's another thing that you can use indoors, and you can sprint across, and it does come in PvP situations. It comes in handy, both rogues and Druids. You can sprint outdoors too. But anyways, Priests are... right now, if you ask me if there was a character that I had that I wish I had right now and knew how to play well, it would be a Priest. And they're healer and damage. But you can see it there. And they are, let me tell you, those fucking Shadow Priests fuck people up, man. It's amazing. And they've got such great crowd control, each one. And as healers, they're fucking badasses, dude. Like, they'll be one of the top healers in the game no matter what. They really are. They're clothies, once again, and you would think but no, they heal themselves as their armor, and it is fucking OP. It is fucking awesome. Like I said, if I had a character in the game right now, I wish I had a Priest. It is fucking some of the most OP right now. If I take you into a battleground and show you, you would just be amazed. Like you'd have to understand. You have to have perspective. But I can show you just raw data that'll make you go, okay, I can't even understand what you're talking about. So that's Priests. They're a lot of fun. They're a mana-driven. So if you pick one of the classes that have extra intellect, like the Gnome, that helps out. If you pick something, you don't see a lot of Priest fucking whatever class or profession wise. I would think that that would probably be once again like an alchemist or whatever, because you get that bonus in farming. But I suppose you could be an engineer or whatever. But if you're going to roll like an engineer, I'd stick with like a gnome or whatever, because you get that bonus. But so enough with Priests, and obviously I went over rogues already, which brings us to Hunter. Hunter is a damage, not a caster, ranged attack. You get a pet. It's really cool. It's pretty fun. There's 3 different types. There's Beastmaster. I've had one in the past. So there's Beastmaster, Marksman, and Survival. Survival is supposed to be, you're supposed to be able to use your melee weapon a little bit better in case people get on top of you. It's kind of like Blizzard's kind of dropped the ball as far as I'm concerned with the Survival. Nobody actually really ever plays Survival until later on. It gets better traps and whatever else. But right now it's usually Beastmaster or Marksman. And the Marksmen do pretty good damage at PvE. That's the PvE class for the most part. But they're only damage. You rely on arrows that do run out. You have to purchase more arrows all the time. But like I said, you get to tame different pets. I'm not featured with a pet here. I can go to my other character and see that you get featured with a pet later on. And you can pick your type of pet. Now your type of pet that you have to tame yourself, which is a really kind of cool part of the feature to the game. You end up actually getting the pet. The different pets have different attributes. 3 different attributes, I think, right now. I think it expands into 5, and you can turn them on and off and whatever else too if you actually have one. I can show you that on my Warlock. It's still kind of the same concept. It's just a pet, and how you operate is kind of the same. But so you can get like a tank spec. So if you're a Beastmaster and you're out in the world, a lot of people like to run something that's got a growl or whatever that keeps the focus of damage on the pet instead of on you. But you got to learn to kite no matter what to do, especially in PvP. They pump out some fucking damage. And they can shut caster classes down, like priests and anybody who's casting hates a fucking good marksman hunter because they've got so many stuns and CCs and silences that they can fuck you up, man. Like I said, this game is a big rock, paper, scissors. All right, we're gonna go up to Drain Eye because that'll show the next two that you actually get. Yeah, Shaman and Paladin. So right now, Paladins are, as far as I'm concerned, that's the secondary that I wish that I had because they make some of the. They are. They're the three. They're the only other one that does three. I was wrong. So they can do tank, healer, and damage. And like a Ret Pally is the damage Pally, and they are fucking phenomenal. Certain classes own them a little bit better than other ones, but on the same hand, dude, they do some fucking serious burst damage for a melee. They're only a melee fighter. There's no casting involved with them whatsoever. But I'll tell you what. And as far as a healer is, okay, so they're phenomenal tanks. They're one of the best tanks in the game. But their healing is fucking OP as fuck. They can just sit there and fucking heal themselves, and like 20 guys will be whacking on them, dude. Like they'll go into twos, and like just go in by themselves and heal themselves until people leave. Real talk, not a joke. So like they're a really cool class that way. Like I had one back in the old Wrath of the Lich King. I leveled one, and I really enjoyed it. They're just tanks. They're beefy, whatever it is that they're doing. So like they considered a tank healer because they can just stand there in certain battlegrounds and just heal somebody and heal the whole crowd. They don't care who's whacking on them. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, they have some pretty cool buffs for everybody else too. So that's the other thing. Like each one of these classes has buffs for everybody else that I didn't even discuss at all. But that's a whole other ball of wax. So no, I hear you. So, oh, sorry. Oh, they are. Yeah, dude, they got a really cool storyline too. So each one of these classes and races, each one of the races and classes has its own storyline that you can play through. It's for rep and it's for everything else. It's really cool. Like you could take this game. Oh my god, it's fucking ridiculous. Shaman, that's a BC extension class that they came up with, and it is really fucking cool. They are healers and damage, as you can see, and their healers are really cool. They work off these totems. I'm not exactly sure. I've never had one. But they work off of totems that do different things. You can set the totems up for PvP or PvE. They can give the whole party members mana back. They can set down a fire totem that shoots fireballs out. They can set down what's called a tremor totem that stops anybody in your party that's in your area from having like a fear effect or a crowd control effect or something like that. They're very versatile and they're very good healers, and their damage, they have some of the most explosive damage in the game right now as far as DPS. A lot of healers can't heal through just how explosive their damage is. They've got a chain lightning that is an AoE that's pretty fucking gnarly too. Yeah. So that's another part of everything. I'm going to jump into Kaiser right now, my Warlock, to show you some of the different things in there. So, like, he's a strict DPS. He's a Warlock, as I stated, but I want to show you some of the pet features and whatever else. So, your question to the PvP again was, I'm sorry. Oh, no, oh yeah. So like no, typically it's always team against team in the PvP. Yes. So there is not a third party to it yet. Yeah. So what will end up happening, and they introduced this in BC, and the reason they did is because sometimes the servers are hard to fill. You can actually be against another alliance team, like so I could end up being, but they'll be called Horde on the battlefield. And actually, it's pretty funny. They give you this little stupid mask so you look like the opposing force. It's fucking great. Anyways, but that's a whole other ball of wax. And I don't. He's my secondary to it, so I don't do so much on him. I don't do a cooking quest or a fishing quest on him, just because. But you can see that I have the Hound with me, right? So he's my Fellhound, and you can get different. So like each spec, you're best off having one of the different types of pets, and they get different types of pets, but you get to summon the pets for a warlock. So like, and in all actuality, the way I'm spec'd with this guy, he's a great tank spec, but like, so like, these are his different attributes along the bottom down here. Each one has different attributes. I could go through just like briefly, like so like. These are like I was explaining to you, like you can make the thing attack, you can make him follow me, or I can make him stay in one spot. And he's got different types of spells that actually, these are his spells over here. Avoidance, devour magic, so he, like casters, I like to sick him on casters. Fellow intelligence, he helps me out with raid members, gives everybody a buff. Shadow bite causes whatever. And I can turn these on and off. They're down here if I want them on and off. So right now he's in passive mode because I'm up on a whatever. He'll automatically goes into passive mode once I mount. But you can keep him in defensive mode or aggressive mode. Now when I dismount, you can put him back into whatever. Yeah, see, so if a watch. He goes right back into that mode. So you don't really like to keep him in aggressive because he'll just start attacking shit. So so I do actually. That's part of the fell armor, and those are different armors that I can pick from my class, and and that one heals me constantly. So like, there's a life tap, so it converts, my health into mana. So like if I need mana, if I go out and I start whacking shit here, is that like I only do the fishing quest on this guy, that and I do the daily PvP. I can do a PvP if you really want, and I'll just leave once you kind of get the gist of it, and I'll get a scaredy cat on him. It only lasts for 15 minutes anyway, so yeah, I won't even do it that long. All right. Okay. It's big, dude. See what I'm talking about when I say big? So that's a taxi is what it's called. And he's just gonna take me to the next point that I gotta get to, and that's how I taxi. But I could fly throughout this whole area, full 3D, whatever. Maybe I should have done that. And actually, I got a really cool mount. I got a flying carpet for this guy. It's pretty cool. Yes, I do. It's pretty cool. Maybe I should have done that. Yeah, so those are dragons that are part of the just free roam mobs that you attack and can attack you. If it's got red, it might want to attack you depending upon your level. So like this is the random battleground, and I get 25. What's that? Huh? Yes, like, dude, some of the graphics and some of, like, the picturesque scenes and stuff, no, it's not Red Dead quality, no, it's cartoon-esque, yes, but it's really fucking, the artwork is really kind of cool. There might have been something dead around there. So, like, I'm on a taxi, so nothing can attack me, but I can't get off until I get to where I'm going. But, however, the random battleground has been queued, and if the random battleground pops me, it'll stop my flight right where it's at. So this is what's going to do it. So I'm going to do AV, which is fucking great. This is a 40-man raid. So 40 men on both sides. I don't heal in this one. If I was a healer, it'd be a lot more fun, maybe. But, so there's macros, and the macros you can set up to do different things. So in this case, this macro, it's a /say macro. You're going to die laughing. Watch this. When I click it, it says, click it, I know you want my stones. And so it's a portal. You can read it here. Lock rock, portal. I need other members to click that portal that I made, and then it'll give you this, it'll put down this pedestal here, and it's a soul well, and then you click it, and then you get one of these. You can carry one, and it's a fell health stone. So that's on my toolbar, and as you can read, it gives me health back. So, like, this is a crafter item that I can make. It's a frostweave net that stops people. I've got a whole shitload of Shadow Fury does. It's a cast that I cast outward, and it stuns people for like what is it, half a second, 3 seconds. Shadow Flame, and I'm glyphed out with Shadow Flame. Not only does it put a debuff, so I work on curses on this character for the most part. And the curses, like as you can read, it's an instant cast, but it does damage over time. It's DOT. So each one of the different classes does different shit that way too, and like hunters do damage over time, and they do so there's different types of damage. So there's obviously instant melee damage, but they got poisons and tickers and whatever else. On this tune, I'm crowd control and damage over time is really what I do. But I can instantly cast a lot of damage over time. So those are the different groups in our party. So the object of this is there's different battlements. You can see on the right lower screen I have a map. And there's different battlements and different things. So like I just became Alliance, and this is all new to me, this fucking route that these guys are taking. So like if I'm not steering very well, that's why, because I just don't really know this route very well. It opens up better here. So like this one here has 4 major nodes, and we're passing a major node right here on the left hand side, and in there is Belinda, and she is a secondary boss on this map, and if you kill her, it's kind of takes away some of the buff that the other side gets and whatever else. And now you're going to see all of these towers that I'm passing. You can see them here on the map here. So these towers here on the map are either Horde or Alliance, blue or red. In each one of these, so that's a Horde right there. He's getting his ass kicked because it's just fucking dumb. He thinks that his strategy, so here's another couple. Actually, this, if they're doing a full block, this gets intense. So that guy is just being a dick trying to stop me. He's silent. He's gonna fuck me up. Well, there's a Shadow Priest right next to it. So that means I gotta start off at a graveyard that's actually capped by us. So that puts me back on the map. So the 4 majors, so there's divided by 2, so there's an Alliance and a Horde. So you get either you run them out of resources up here. Yeah, dude, listen, you see how many people are, dude, it's fucking nuts. This map is huge. And this is a bigger map. This is a 40, this is the open 40 map that they have this way. They have what's called winter grass, which is kind of crazy too. So they want this node that's right here. Yeah, so if they cap that, then they get this graveyard. That's what they want. So they haven't killed Belinda because it's not on fire. Got a dot on him. Correct. And he's messing with shit because he, especially casters, remember he's an anti-caster pet. Yeah, so I like him on casters, so you'll see me singling out casters because it shuts them up and takes away their mana. It messes with them. If I see a healer, I stick that pet on that healer. So part of my add-ons on this map you're going to use, that I'm using right now, are to the left over there, which is capping, you'll see. In. Somebody was stealing his health. Now I'm stealing his health and his mana. That was somebody fucking hit me up with ice fire. So now I'm casting a fear that goes just broadcast. You can see this time. This is a 40, man. Like it balls out. Like sometimes you eat the dog and sometimes the dog eats you. So here at the top and here at the bottom are where the two bosses are. And these, you got to get these bunkers down. I wish I could get into one right now, but if you can get the bunkers down, you have less opponents into the last two areas. If you kill him, you win. If you run the other team out of reinforcements, you win. That's the way this battleground works. Remember, I said that there's like, I am blue. So this is telling us the standing of each of the different encampments. They need Icewing Bunker is not good. They're really behind on Icewing Bunker. You don't need all of them down to kill the boss, but it helps because it takes another opponent out. So if you got 2-3 tanks, you're fine with accompanying healers, but that's fucking so rare. It's not even funny. I'll see if I can actually get through this spray. I doubt it, but I think I might actually make it through. We actually might make it, depending upon... Now, I think each of them have their own time limits on some of them, but for the most part, I don't think this one really has a time limit because it's got the resources and whatever else. But they can go half an hour. Fuck, dude, it can go forever, dude. It really can. For whatever reason. See, so like that motherfucker just stunned me. Yeah, he stunned me, and he's trying to get at me, trying to slow me down, do whatever it is again. I don't know why I didn't hit this. That's my Fellhound, yeah. Oh shit. Oh, they didn't heal me either. Oh, it's an instant res. I'm back at that same graveyard. So it's gonna. This is actually gonna be a really long one because they're not letting anybody through, and they probably don't have enough to just win the boss. They call it turtling. Yeah, it's called turtling. So you're putting up defense. By fear. They have an anti-magic. Alright, my dock killing you, see that? Oh, shit. And there's an ice trap now, though. Mass sphere. So he's capping that flag back to Alliance. That's going to piss him off because you'll see over here, hold on. Over here you're going to see that they got to recap that. You can see over here, you want them all burnt, you want them all gray. So yeah, these are bunkers or towers, whatever you want to call them. Each one of these is assigned a general. If you burn it, he's got to come down here, and he leaves the main boss's side then. See those countdown? Silence. Nothing I can do. You're just gonna run out of cooldowns after a while. You're gonna run out of healing potions. It's just when you got that many people that you're up against, unless you got healers and whatever else, and that's a whole other ball of wax. It's insane. It's so great to watch the blobs, dude. I'm in trouble, bub. thought that there was more behind me, but I was wrong. Yeah. There's no real good survivability there. So you see, like Cold Tooth Mine and Iron Deep Mine, they flip that over to themselves, so they'll get more resources that way. Who knows? IBT. They each have a name. I think that's Ice Blood Tower. Right, see, there's a whole group down there that I'm not just running, so I'm not Leroy Jenkins and that shit, dude. They'll just fuck me up. Is that a paladin that followed me down here? Gotta get my Fellhound back before he fucking dies. My Fellhound, I can resurrect him, or he'll resurrect when I get back. Why is this paladin following me? But like, listen, I'm not bitching. Well, he wants him. Nah, fuck it. Too much. I want to see if I can actually make it anywhere. If he left me. But yeah, dude, like, the game's huge, you know what I'm saying, dude? This is just one of the battlegrounds. This is the biggest one for this type of battleground. Now, there's Wintergrass, which they pull, it's the same thing, but it could be like 150 on 150. Yeah, it's insanity, dude. It's fucking... so obviously a rogue just said... Fight. What killed him? Or he vanished. They kill us. But he's in trouble because I think he'll end up dying by dogs. He was actually really shitty. Most of them would kill me immediately. To be honest, like, I normally I don't last that long, but he had, like, if he doesn't die, I'll be surprised. And how he shook my fucking seat of corruption, maybe it never landed. That's a death sentence for most of those fucking rogues. Like, if I could pop a rogue off from the sideline with that, they're not happy. All right, so like we're still here. All right, that's not bad. Yeah, that's... You have a chance now. Goodbye. He wasn't living through that. red pallet. I'm gonna say they got some really good smacking ability. He picks out clothies because he knows he can just rip through us like that. Like I said, rock, paper, scissors. Kind of, in a really warm disorder. Other way. Okay, see how that tower's on fire up top over here? Yep, that one burnt. They got that one. But they didn't get this one over here, so let's go see if we can get that tower back. Gotta fuck them up. I could blow that map up for you. It'll make more sense. Let me see if I can get this tower back. That's important right now. Nice. Yeah, several bases, blah, 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 so now I just got defended it, so I actually get points for that and shit. Okay, so my map. Alright, so these are the bases. These bases have both been burnt. We just salvaged this one here. That's Invincible, the Paladin who's next to me. So each color represents Paladin, Rogue, Druid, Death Knight, red. Blue is whatever. I'm purple. Warlocks are purple, if that helps you. And you can see where everybody's at. So we're holding this back. So like, if they did, oh, I've got a finished quest. It says, I have no idea. It's a battleground quest. I probably actually completed it as Horde, but I had to complete it as Alliance. Alright, so this is kind of mundane, and everybody's resin here, which isn't actually a good sign, but we're still beating them in resources, so to get more resources, there's, so they already got the Iron Deep mine. So there's a mine to the left here, up here, and you can, if you cap everything in there and you get the mine working for us, then we get those resources, and that kind of helps out. The more towers you have, the more resources that you have, and as the towers drop, the less resources you get available to you. So keeping that tower back there, that's to be till before they fall to the other side, or where they're actually at. So like Iron Deep Mine is ours, Cold Tooth Mine is theirs, Ice Blood Tower is falling to us in 43 seconds. It'll be ours and it'll burn. No, I'm gonna, so whatever reason we got pushed all the way back there, so now I'm getting back to the front, wherever the front might be. So like the name of this big field out here is called the Field of Strife, and as you can see why, it's just where people land in one of these turtles, and it's a melee of just battle. No. Which can be attacked. So he's got anti-magic shields and other types of things that sometimes my spells won't hit. And we won. We ran him out of resources. So these are stats. So healing done, damage done, top, bottom. I probably don't place really high. I'm not too bad. You know, I'm in the middle. And like I said, I'm more about crowd control and whatever else. So it doesn't bother me. Yeah, fuck ton of honor. Yeah, so, like, well, I should have showed you HKs and whatever else, the difference between those. Like I said, you pick right back up on the taxi where you left off, which I'm going to do that same daily quest for the fishing pole. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's the only one that I care about. Like I told you, I'll play anything after I get the daily quest. I wanted to show you a battleground, you know? It's always a good day for fishing in World of Warcraft. You can fish just about anywhere you can find water. As a matter of fact, some like the daily quests are for fishing in the sewer and shit, dude. It's pretty funny. Yeah, and like that's a whole different profession. So there's 3 sub-professions that anybody can have. You can have all 3: cooking, first aid, and fishing. Yeah, like I said, I want to get these dailies. So I'll show you my magic carpet. For a mount, it is, isn't it? That's a professional mount. So like I get it for my profession to be a tailor on this character. Same request, yeah. So you steal in the pub. Yep. Yeah. That's just because I got multiple characters. There's a different mount. Yeah, you gotta find some different nodes. Here's a single node. One of the cool parts about being a warlock, one of the class bonuses is that they give you a mount at a certain level. You don't have to purchase it. Yeah, I didn't even get into the economy in this game yet, have I? Oh, I did. I'm just making him fatherless. Don't worry, he'll respawn. don't know how you say it. The Kulukaha, or I don't know. Malataka Harbor, or whatever. Sure. We gotta go back to Milwaukee. Yep, that's all I ever want to do. Like I told you, like we can switch over to whatever from here, but yeah. I mean, dude, it's you got dailies on your Cyberpunk. Oh, I got you. I got you. Gotcha. All right, we'll call Drin back and whatever. Talk to you later and let me know if you're hopping back on or want to miss something else or whatever. Let me know, all right? All right, have fun. And this is open to you, and I'm in here quite often, so. All right? Yeah. I'm here. All right. Bye.